Hi, Greg Lewis, Metastock Software. You're about to watch one of the presentations from the 2017 Online Traders Summit. I know you're going to enjoy it. Before we begin, I want to tell you just a little bit about us here at Metastock. We've been in business for about 30 years. Metastock is about the most powerful platform you can get for the private trader anywhere. You can test, you can scan, you can forecast, you can customize to your heart's content. It's an amazing piece of trading technology. If you'd like to get a free extended trial of Metastock, I encourage you to go to metastock.com/traders-summit 3-for-1. That's metastock.com/traders-summit 3-for-1, or just click one of the links provided, and you can get 3 months of Metastock for the price of one. That's an amazing deal. I encourage you to do so. I know you won't regret it. Please enjoy the presentation and successful trading.
Rick Sadler is up. Rick Sadler does hit and run candlesticks, and he has been doing that for a number of years. I think 11, if I'm not mistaken. I think Steve said he was Rick was one of Steve's first students. Rick can kind of clarify that if I was wrong, though. But in any case, Rick, let's go ahead and bring you on here.
Hey, Jeff. Oh,
hey, Rick.
Excuse me. Hey, Jeff. How are you?
You've been here all day, too. You're hardcore.
Well, I've been in and out, in and out. I've been logged in, yes, but in and out.
Yeah, well, welcome. We're glad to have you. Anything specific that you want to tell us about yourself?
Well,
or anything specifically you'd like, so maybe the way I could say that.
For everyone that doesn't know, my name is Rick Sadler. I'm the founder of Hit and Run Candlesticks, and just a second here, I'm bringing up my screen, and I can't do that and talk. Let's see. Jeff, help me out here. What screen are you seeing?
I see the one with your desktop showing, and now it looks like it's changing. So.
Okay. I may have to show this. Oh, there we are. Oh, there we are.
So I see a 30-day free trial HRC and RWZ.
There we go. There we go. Okay. We're on the right one. Okay, everyone. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. The floor is yours.
I certainly want to thank Jeff and Metastock for inviting me here today for this presentation. I do appreciate it. For those that don't know, my name is Rick Sadler. I am the founder of Hit and Run Candlesticks, and we have grown into an amazing service. We have 4 coaches. We have an options division. I'll talk a little bit about that here shortly. Just absolutely amazing. And if you hang around to the end of my presentation, we are offering a 30-day free trial to Hit and Run Candlesticks, that's the HRC, and to Right Way Options, RWO. So please, I hope you take advantage of that. And even if you've had a 30-day trial in the past, you're still going to be eligible. That is special only for Metastock. And so I hope to see you in the room. Okay, so let's get started here. I want to stay on this slide for a second. A couple things I want to say. That if you ever want some free trade ideas, you want to see charts posted, if you have any means of looking on Facebook, Twitter, StockTwits, or YouTube, you can find both Hit and Run Candlesticks and Right Way Options. That's totally free. So you know, if you like I say, if you're involved at all with Facebook, Twitter, StockTwits, YouTube, you can pick up some really cool stuff that we pass along. And that's both Hit and Run Candlesticks and Right Way Options. Okay, let's get started real quick here. I just want to mention that investing and trading involve significant financial risk and are not suitable for everyone. No communication from Hit and Run Candlesticks is financial or trading advice. All information in this webinar is intended for educational purpose only Except toward the end there are some charts that are looking pretty darn good. There's some that I'm in currently. I'll show you those, and they still look higher. So we'll talk about that. I've been trading for 29, well, actually 30 years now. I probably ought to update this slide a little bit. I've been trading and coaching for about 30 years now. I manage the live trading room. My partner, Doug Campbell, manages the Right Way option trading and educational room. We have two separate trading rooms, and Doug handles the other room. Years ago, when I first started, yeah, Steve Bigelow, I don't know if I was one of his first students. I don't know that, but I was certainly early on. I know that, and I learned a little bit about candlesticks there, and so I thank Steve for that. I do appreciate it. After going through, you know, the ups and downs of trading, I was determined. I mean, I truly had a dream to trade, and wasn't so successful in the beginning. And to this day, I've yet to meet anybody that was very successful in the beginning. You have to go through your ups and downs, and you have to learn the hard way on trading. I have to say that my greatest aha moment, if there was something that probably I always think about that pushed me to the profitable side, is keeping trading simple and having a foundation to trading. So simplicity plus a foundation equals success. Without a foundation of trading, and we're talking some simple basic stuff, without that, it doesn't matter how magic the indicator is or the moving average or anything, it's just not going to go anywhere. There's no super holy grail out there that says, hey, buy this, it's going to work. It just doesn't work out that way. And then simplicity. I went through a time when my charts were look like spaghetti, or just mush up on the screen. I certainly went through that period of time, and I have found that the cleaner you keep them, the better you are, because you can put up whatever indicators you want. You can, any magic you think might be out there. When it really comes down to it, it's all about price. That's it. No more, no less. It all comes from price. So simplicity and a strong foundation. All charts, we're going to look at a bunch of charts here in just a second. All charts in this webinar are from the Hit and Run Candlestick members watch list. I do not go through and cherry pick charts. I only use charts that I can substantiate and back up. So these are charts that have been, they were on the members watch list, and you'll see how they come up on the Metastock scan. Some of them are actually from a previous presentation, but then again, they were on the members watch list, and there's some that are currently right there right now. So please think of these charts as all time sensitive. In other words, are date sensitive, which means it doesn't mean you run out and buy them tomorrow. Some of them are definitely not, because they were even from a previous webinar. But some of them are brand new as of the close yesterday. It doesn't mean that they're a buy tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday. There's more to trading than just, hey, that's a buy. Okay, or somebody might say, hey, that's a bullish chart. Somebody might get up there and say, hey, this is a bullish chart. Here it is moving up like this, maybe, or maybe it comes down, starts moving up. Well, that doesn't mean that it's a buy, and that's where everyone just has to knuckle under and trade their own trade, to be honest with you. Okay, now the magic to trading is within each one of us, and I personally feel that everybody I've ever run across is a great stock picker. I truly am. I mean, it doesn't take a brainiac to look at a chart and say, hey, that's bullish. And I'm going to mostly talk about bullish today, okay? So it doesn't take much for anybody to see that. I mean, really, that is very easy. That's first day to trading school stuff right there. The trick is what you do with the trade. That's the trick, and that's the magic. Unfortunately, there's no magic pill. There just simply is not. The magic is completely within you. And you know, there's some things you have to realize as well. Is not all charts, patterns, signals, let's say indicators, some of them just don't work out. They really don't. I've been asked, you know, what's the success rate? Well, of whom? Of me? Currently, right now, I'm sitting at about the last 30 days at 70% success rate. Last week, I dropped down to about 63%. So, you know, it kind of fluctuates. There's no single number one answer. It sort of fluctuates. Somebody might ask, well, if we if we join up Hit and Run Candlesticks or right way options, what is my success rate? Well, look, I'm sorry, but we certainly can guarantee a success rate. An example is I can, or anybody can point out a chart that they feel like could make 30% over the next 5 days. And by golly, that stock could move that 30% in 5 days. And do you know that maybe half, I'll certainly say a fair amount of people will lose money on that? Now, how is that possible? Well, it's possible because you probably don't have a trade plan, and if you do, you're not sticking to the trade plan. Most likely you're just simply a gunslinger, and you're just out there walking up and down the street calling people out, you know, bang, 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 shooting everything up, hoping that something sticks. Unfortunately, a great deal more does not stick. So what helps with that is having the basics down, having the foundation, and a good trading plan. I want to apologize here for a second. This is like the perfect storm for me. This week, this weekend, over the next couple of days. I recently came out of some surgery. I had some construction. I'm having some construction work done. They cut through my power line yesterday. I totally lost internet. I mean, electricity, everything. Having a roof put on, and that's got behind. It was supposed to have been done yesterday, but because of the electricity, they're doing it now. So you may hear some banging in the background. And then I have jury duty. Well, I have to call in tomorrow for possible jury duty. Poor me, you know. And I was thinking about these things today because really it is starting to aggravate me how I have no control over some things. It's like, come on, people. Well, in stock trading, we do have control, but we have to take a step out there. Price action, I think, is the #1 leader when looking at a chart. Price action, it tells you what the trend is doing. It tells you what the other trader might be doing. You know, the guy down the road, the guy across 5 states. Price action can tell you what they're doing. Just watch the candlestick. If there's only 2 people trading, and that price moves up or down by the candlestick, you can tell exactly what they're thinking. Price patterns. I think price patterns are the key to double-digit gains, and if you're not pulling in double-digit gains, then quite honestly, I don't think you'll make it down the road long-term in trading. And because you just simply can't, you just simply can't trade for say 3 or 4% and make money. Whoops, there we go. Simply can't trade for 3 or 4% and make money. To start with, look, we're going to have some losses. That's a fact of life. Most losses I have found are between 5 and 6% anyway. So right there, you're underwater. You're done. You're cooked. It's just a hobby that's costing you money. Now, if you're not putting in, like I say, a couple of these double-digit gains, and we'll just say 10% plus, it's nothing, truly nothing for us to see 20. I'll go 25. You know, we'll just put a 5 there. We certainly see some 30s and some 40s percent trades. We see our fair share of 3 to 4, absolutely. But you have to salt and pepper it with some really nice trades. Otherwise, it's a no-win game in the end. So, you know, be thinking about, it doesn't matter what system, so-called system you use, or what instruments you might trade, or how you might trade. Look, you're there to make money, so always be thinking about those double-digit gains. And I know that going into a trade, everybody wants to do that, but it's part of planning. You have to plan the trade. So price patterns, I think, get you over that hump. I think price patterns are the double-digit secret right there. I truly do. Stocks tend to run after chart patterns. Price action and candlesticks, they help determine, hey, is this a buy now or 10 cents from now? Or, you know, do I move on? But it's the price pattern that makes you the money. Setups and strategies, I think, are extremely important. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about setups and strategies. And they're the setups and strategies that Jeff mentioned, part of the Metastock package. And I want to show you how some of those trades could have gotten you into some great money-making trades. Not just maybe for right now, but you know, maybe a little longer as well. Trend lines. I think trend lines are extremely important. Trend lines, this is all basic stuff. This is all the foundation stuff. I mean, you got to have that. Support and resistance. This is all basic stuff. Without this, I just do not feel you can go very far in trading. A trade plan. We're going to touch on that because I've got some trades that I am currently in. I'm going to show you my trade plan. And I'm showing you the ones that I think still have more room to move. And I've got some trades out there that we're going to look at before today's over that maybe set up for next week with a trade plan. There's more to a trade plan than simply an entry, stop, and exit. Everybody wants to know what's your entry. That's the number one. And I never have figured that out. You know, I can be talking to a group of people and everyone wants to know what's your entry? My entry, who cares what the entry is? You better worry about your stop and exit. The entry doesn't matter. An entry never made anybody any money. And if you're looking for 20, 25%, 15% trades, the entry doesn't matter. If you're looking for 1, 2, 3% trades, then the entry is pretty doggone important. But then I doubt you go on to be a lifelong trader and enjoy some of the benefits of being a trader. Another part of trade plan, excuse me, sometimes it's hard for me to catch my breath after the surgery here. Another part of the trade plan is the trade right for you? I may point to a trade that is right for me, but it might not be right for you just because I trade a trade, or I see in the chat Bill is the last person I see that typed anything. Maybe Bill is entering into a trade, but you know, it might not be a good trade for me. So not every trade is right for everybody. So it's very important you know what you're doing. Very important. So I have a Harley. I love riding my Harley. And there may be other people out there that are extremely capable, but they would no more get on a motorcycle than the man in the moon. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm a truck guy too. You know, I just love my Dodge truck. Some people wouldn't be caught dead in a truck if it doesn't sit low to the ground and in a car, you know, 4 doors or 2 doors and a stick shift. That's their thing. That's okay. You know, whether I ride the Harley or drive my truck or whether you drive your sports car, we can go down to Walmart and we're going to go to the same Walmart and we can buy the same loaf of bread, same gallon of milk, and we can get home. And we've accomplished exactly what we set out for. So remember, not every trade is for everybody. Can the trade be profitable? Man, I'll tell you what, that right there is huge. If you're looking at a trade and you can't see the profitability, now no pipe dreaming here, okay? Let's not throw any Hail Marys out there. Let's make sure that the trade is profitable. Very important. And then, does the trade make sense? That's all stock trading is. And I'm a swing trader, so everything I'm looking at is swing trading. It's all common sense. That's all it is. Buy low, sell high. Sometimes there can be an argument on the definition of what buy low is. But when it really comes down to it, it's just common sense. That is all it is. The thing, what happens though, is we let's see what this next slide. Oh, that's a trade plan. You know what happens is greed might set in, which just kicks common sense right out the door. It makes somebody, you know, somebody that's got a load of common sense. Greed will just make you stupid overnight or instantly. It just make you stupid right now. Once you put your money in it, in the chart, all of a sudden the common sense starts drizzling away, because now you have this vested interest in it. One way to get around that is to create a trade plan. Now, this is a trade that I'm actually in. I actually bought this Friday, and this is a typical trade plan. And we're going to look at the chart a little bit later, but I just wanted to show you what a basic trade plan might be. And I've got an earned entry of $13.25, buying 1,200 shares. I've got my first target at approximately $14.95, and I'm going to sell half that trade for about 12.5% or so, 12.66%, if everything works out perfectly. The second target would be about $16.50, sell the other 600 shares for about 24%. Now, I want to bring something over. You know, I probably ought to finish this though, I guess. And a stop loss at $12.40, and I'm willing to risk about 6.5% on this 24% trade. Not too shabby. Okay, let's say we get to, especially that second number. Well, let's use the first number. Let's say we get to the first target, and I get to 12%. Well, say the chart is doing this right here, and let's draw it right there, I guess, since that's my top. Okay, so the chart's moving up. I get to my target. All of a sudden, stupid rolls in. It does. Greed. You know, look, I call it the way I see it. I don't candy coat too much. I don't, you know, I certainly give hugs and loves, but when it comes to stock trading, I get right out there and tell it like it is. So the stock's been up. That's my target, but there is not one thing about that candle that looks like a sell signal. So you know what? I'm going to reach in my pocket and pull out a handful of stupid, and I'm just going to stay in it. And that's the way I feel about it. That's just a handful of stupid. It doesn't matter how much it goes up. I don't care if it goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. I'll let the second half take care of this. But my first half is probably my most important trade, and it's my smallest trade. Now, this is a pretty good trade, 12.5%. But that 12.5%, that keeps me in the game. That pays my light bill. That pays for my food. That pays for Harley parts, truck parts. You know, that pays for the new prop on the boat. You know, that's what this does. This is the most important trade. The second trade, I can kind of fudge around with that one because I've made my money here. This is the one that gets you into those good double-digit numbers that helps out with losses or unexpected expenses maybe. So I'm pretty close to the money on that first trade. Now, there's sometimes the trade doesn't work out and I have to get out of it before it hits that magic number. but that's okay. I'll take it and close the entire position if I have to. The point is, having a plan, it keeps you from getting that, it keeps you from getting greedy is what it does. It keeps you from, it's up, it's up, it's up. Why sell it? Well, believe me, seasoned traders know what I'm talking about. Traders that struggle, they're the ones that want to hang on to this. Rookie traders, they're the ones that want to hang on, and they keep hoping for something fantastic. And then what happens, it might come up here and put in a sell signal. Well, that's no worry, because, hey, it's okay if it moves back. And then it starts, then all the excuses start coming in. And before you know it, you've given all your money up, and you've spent umpteen days here, and you've got nothing to show for it. And now you're about break even. And then we could get into that argument, well, it's a double bottom now, I better add to it or something like that. But anyway, I see there's some questions here. Hey, I love questions, so please, I'll have to remember to glance over here. Please do ask them. Let's see, Bill. I don't have it yet. TradeView, yep. We have a new version coming out, Bill. That be there pretty quick. Barton says, place your sell order as soon as you buy the chart. End of story. I agree, by the way. Terrific idea. Okay. All right, let's look at some charts here. Now, I love chart setups. I really do. I love chart patterns, and I love chart setups. I love candlestick signals. I use moving averages at times, and sometimes I don't. So, real quick, what we're going to talk about today is what I call the T-line squeeze, T-line bounce, the pinball setup, and my personal all-time favorite is the rounded bottom breakout. And these are all setups that you can find built into the Metastock system. It does not mean that you still don't need to know basic trading skills. You do. So, please just don't assume that it's magic. There's still those skills out there. I'd like to run through my moving averages real quick. Let's start with the black line. The T-line, I'll try to do it in 30 seconds, the history of the T-line. When I created that years ago, it was because I was desperate. I was desperate to find a way to make money because I was failing horrible. Just horrible failure at trading. I'd win some, I'd lose some, win some, lose some, win some, lose some. In the meantime, I was trying to make a living on it, and it just wasn't working out. So I had to come up with a way that helped me personally, and I am extremely proud, I mean, very proud that not only has it helped me, but it's helped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other traders, and even experienced educators in trading now use the T-line and call it the T-line. So I'm very, very proud of that, and it has made one of the biggest differences in my trading. I use it a lot in a lot of ways, and sometimes I'll use it in a scan, but I don't even have to have the T-line on the chart. It just simply, I know it's built into the scan, and I know it works. So the T-line is the 8 exponential moving average. This orange line is the 34 exponential moving average. This blue line is the 50-day simple moving average. And let's jump right up to this big red line. That's the 200 simple moving average. All charts you'll see today will be the daily chart. Now this dotted red line, this is the 200 front-weighted measured on the low moving average. 200 front-weighted measured on the low. Now this comes included with the Metastock program. Even if you don't have the Metastock program, it is in there. You can pull it out and put it on your chart. So let's see. Let's place your yes, NA salute. Thanks, Lib. Bill is asking, say what? I'm not sure what that's for. Okay, so there's the moving averages. And what happens here, it's really kind of cool. The pinball setup, by the way, is the reason that the T-line was created. This is because I used to be a trader off the bottom. I was always trying to pick a bottom. I have learned that that was the #1 mistake I was making, and I no longer do that. Trying to find stocks off the bottom are, I think, a losing game. Now, so what I had to do is come up with a way, how do I buy a stock that can go from here and swing up, make some money, but not be a bottom picker? Because I did figure out that that was uncool. It was just not working out. So after playing around and pretty painful, actually, going through the process of discovering this. But what happens is we're looking for a stock that's been down, that's beat up a little bit. I love it when we see a candlestick signal like a Morningstar signal, and then we close up over the T-line. That's when it first starts to trigger, and that's where you'll see the PB there, Pinball Setup. And then the idea is to buy the next day. You can certainly buy early. I get it if you want to buy early this day, but if you ever want to be trained on the pinball setup, this is how I would train you. I would train you. You buy it on this day here, and you swing it up to the 34 EMA. Swing it to the 34 EMA. You do not have to close it all out, but I would highly recommend you close half of it and take half the money out of it. So let's see, can you please repeat your last statement on front-loaded? I can, Marquis, yes. Is the T-line an EMA? It's an EMA. It's exponential moving average. Okay, I'm going to write this up here. So this line here, this is the 200. It's the front-weighted, and it's measured on the lows. Out of the box, you know, if you get the 200, it's going to be on the close, just like that. It's going to be the simple, the close. You can change it to exponential, and it's going to stay on the close. I'm just adjusting it to measure the lows is what I'm doing. 200, front-weighted, lows. It is in the Metastock system there. Don't go look for it right now. I'd rather you stay here. So here we're up. We're making that swing up into this area. So that's where you would take part of the profits off, 50%. It pulls back, and you can see right there that you've got some support. And this is where some of that basic education comes in. Basic trading education. It did not break support, so you'd stay in the second 50% of the trade. And look what's happening now. Kaboom! So by the way, this would have been a 10% trade, double digit. This would have been a 9% trade. And you know, where's the entry? Enter here, sell here. Enter here, let's see, and enter here, sell here. It's, you know, I wouldn't get tied up so much with the entry too much. What you want to do is you want to look at the chart and say, okay, I see what this chart is doing. I can see where it's headed, and I use this a lot for a moving support and resistance line. Moving, which means it is not at all exact. So here's a nice little second trade, or the second half of your trade for 19%. Or what if you didn't take this trade? And what if you were alerted here? Notice the RBB. That stands for rounded bottom breakout. That is my favorite strategy of all. I love this strategy. So pops up, it starts alerting, and I'm skipping over a lot of little telltale stuff here just because of time, okay? Just because of time. Look, we're offering a 30-day trial. Hit and Run Candlesticks, right way options. You will have a trial to everything, all scans, anything and everything, videos, trading room, you name it. We would not even know you weren't paying a paying member unless we looked at our client list. So you can pick all this stuff up, okay? So I'm going to leave a lot of little technical stuff out, and because I can certainly explain better during the day in a live chart. So here's a nice little 20% trade on that rounded bottom breakout. Now, as it pulls back, notice it's still giving us this RBB. That's because it's still a rounded bottom breakout. Stock trading is not about pick me a stock now and make me money 5 minutes from now. That is not stock trading. That is not swing trading. It might be some sort of day trading, which rarely works out for most people. This sets up, and over here, this VRX, you can go look at the chart. Maybe it sets up and runs up and gets up to our 200 or not. I just wanted to point out this rounded bottom breakout. Let's see, any questions here? Let's see, let's see, that's, looks like a little fry pan. Yeah, fry pan bottom is just a rounded bottom, nothing magic about it. It's just a consolidation on the bottom. That's part of part of calling it the T line. Yeah, not so much maybe. Everybody asks, what is it? It's an 8 EMA. Yeah, it's the 8. Please identify all your moving averages. I just did that a little bit ago. Sorry if I most already know, but what's the definition of the pinball setup? The pinball setup. Pinball set is coming off the bottom, is what it is, and I'll tell you. Here's how it got its name. The pinball setup. This is exactly how it got its name. I'm gonna do everything in red so you can see it. Well, I figured it out, and I started trading here. And what would happen? I would get up here, and a case of the stupid set in. And do you think I would sell it? No. And it would come right back down, just like it did there. I would panic. Maybe it even came back down lower. I would panic, get out, and I'll be doggone if the stock didn't go like that. You get that kind of a pinball. You know, if you're sitting at a pinball machine, you got your flapper buttons on each side. You're pushing that ball out. Man, sometimes it might do this before it takes off. But that's truly how it got its name, pinball setup. Let's see here. Let's look at it in the chart. Let's look at fold. All right. There's another strategy on the metastock system that's called a T-line bounce. We're looking for a stock that's trending, and we're looking for it bouncing, not necessarily off the T-line, but it's awfully close to the T-line, okay? And that's where the metastock will alert you here. And what this is, it's an alert. It's not necessarily buy it. There are those cases that, yeah, it's a buy. Let's, you know, when I first came on, we looked at a page where price action is number one. We use candlesticks to determine price action, and this is not, you know, this hammer is not a buy signal. Not today, not yesterday, not ever has it been a buy signal. Now, there are some people that buy the hammer, but they are just taking on a bit more risk. That's all. I don't want that kind of risk. So I want to wait till those buyers start stepping in. Remember, I'm not interested in some really cool entry. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in picking that bottom here. I'm interested in making 24%. And you can make 24% by simply buying on the breakout. Up right here, you could have bought once it's up, you could have bought down in here, you could have bought right here, and there you go. There's your 24%. So let's make this green. So if there's 24 somewhere in this area to somewhere in that area. There's your double digit. There you go. Here's another one. We pull back and it starts alerting you. I mean, to me, this is like, hey, Rick, look, get ready. Get ready. All of a sudden, we get a little bullish engulf in here. Maybe that's your trigger. And that's perfectly fine. You know, maybe that's your trigger. I could see here I'm not a very straight line drawer, am I? There we go. I could see that. Buy on that bullish engulf. I would know that my my stop was maybe this low. I'd have to set it up on the trade plan to be sure that the numbers worked out. Look at that now. Boom. Well, I think this was another 24%, and then this was 30%, the gap, if you stayed in it right here. And there it is again, it's reading a T-line bounce. So what it's doing, it's giving you those charts that are setting up. Now we have to do a little work, and we have to put our basic trading foundation, our basics, we have to put them to work. We have to, what is price action doing? We should wait to buy on strength. Strength, by the way, is, in this case, it would be over that hammer is what strength would be, which in this case it also was over this day here. Let's see, any questions? Nope. Here's SEDG. SEDG. So here's, you know, that rounded bottom breakout. It's alerting you. It's alerting you. Get ready. Get set. And here, you see how it gapped up and then it pulled back down? That could have been bought intraday on that pullback. You know your stop would have been down in this area here. So you're throwing a little risk because that, I mean, that was kind of a negative moment for sure. But your stop is, I think, in a good place, so the risk is worth it. And you can see how it ran right up to the 200. Notice it's bouncing off the, what we call this, the dotted deuce is what this is. So it ran right up to it. It kind of walked along the top of it, and then it started moving up again. Once again, reading the RBB, rounded bottom breakout, and as it comes up, now it starts reading, because anything above the 200 is not a rounded bottom breakout. So up here, you'll start seeing things like the T-line bounce, T-line squeeze. Here's the T-line squeeze. And basically, this is taking in consideration the 20-day simple moving average. Notice it's not on my chart. It doesn't need to be on my chart. But it is taking in consideration on the scan. Metastock were very hard in setting some of this up, and I'm just sharing with you that the 20 is involved. But this is where it squeezes some moving averages together, and then it's bullish based on those moving averages. And right there, it's telling you, get alive, wake up. Boom, there's our 30%. And now it's T-line bounce. And there we go, you know, for another little swing. Let's see. Jeff, I never saw, let's see, I have to leave. We'll watch the recording. Thank you, Barton, appreciate it. Let's see, that's for Jeff. I saw 14. We have a trial. We have a link for a 30-day trial special just for the Metastock folks that's here. We'll make sure that you have that. Let's see. IPXL. IPXL is a chart that I am currently in. I guess I better double check that, hadn't I? No, not this one. I'm sorry, not this one. IPXL, you can see here, you see how it just kind of, it just moves right up the ladder. And we've got the pinball setup. It's telling you to start thinking about it, get involved, you know, put your trade plan together. Let's take a look at this chart right in here. If we take a look at that, see how we popped up, and look at that little flag right there. I mean, this is charting 101, knowing this stuff right here. And then I'll change the color, and I'm even going to draw this candle in. Let's do it this way. So I want this candle to stick out a little bit more right there. So see how a bullet, now I know my green is bigger than the candle. I just want to make sure you're seeing it. And then let's change this color here. And look at that flag right there. And the cool thing that I love about what I look for in a flag, I guess, is we go from that low to that high, and that pullback stays within that candle. Same as over here, from the low to the high, and that pullback stays within that candle. It could also be 2 candles in there in some cases. But those are beautiful flags, and now we're getting this PB alert. PB, pinball, boom, be a buyer, you're making 35%. Of course, you're going to put a stop. I know everyone is going to do that. Put a stop in there. And now that we close over the 50-day simple moving average, it starts reading RBB for rounded bottom breakout. Once again, though, we have to take a look at some chart patterns. Love chart patterns. Chart patterns are the key to double-digit gains, and double-digit gains is the key to success. So we have a nice little flag here. Look at that swing up. We came close to our dotted deuce. That's usually what I would look for in that area. We came pretty close. We pulled back, but even this pullback, there's nothing bearish about that pullback. It never broke any support. Still reading the RBB. You know, it's saying, hey, stay alert, stay alert. And now there's the key maybe to get back in, and sure enough, it stopped right there at that double deuce. That's just the 200 front weighted measured on the low in case somebody came in late. And all the way back down to 34. So there, look at the swings that, let's see, can I do this? Let's see, pin. I'm going to make this red so you can see it. So here, I mean, you certainly could have gotten in here too. You know, there's a swing, there's a swing, there's a swing, there's a swing. How sweet is that? I mean, how would you like those kind of numbers? I mean, that's just terrific right there. Let's see, any questions here? I'm not sure what Ballard Power, that's posted out there. Not sure what that's for. What is the link for the promo? Here in just a few minutes, I'll post it out there. What is more important? Pivot high or pivot close? I think what you'll find, Steve, is that one chart, one might be the most important, another chart, the other. It's all what traders perceive as. It seems like I'm talking in a circle. I don't mean to be. It's all what traders, all the traders collectively perceive as the most important area, the pivot high or the pivot close. There is no one perfect. Every chart will be slightly different. It's like, you know, it's like somebody might put up a pivot high or a resistance line, you know, put anything up there you want. And then some stocks will go right to that, right, nail it. Other stocks will push right on up to this high and may fail. They both may fail, but there's this area that it may get to here perfectly, it may get to here perfectly, and it will drive you crazy if you're trying to find some sweet spot. Now, I have come up with what I think is a sweet spot. And my idea of a sweet spot is to start with, one, I never use the pivot high. In other words, the exact high, or the pivot close, the exact close. I never use let's see here. I never use a trend line. Let's see, can I do this? Look how thin that trend line is. I never use a thin trend line. I want to use let's see, I can make that bigger. I can do this. Bear with me. Tool frame. I still did it wrong. I want to use a trend line, a support line, resistance line about that fat right there. Now, I'm not pinching pennies. I don't need to make pennies. If I'm looking at a 35% trade, what difference does it make whether I sell at the top of that line or at the bottom or in the middle? I'm talking 35%. That's not going to make any difference to me one way or another. So when you're looking at a chart and you see the potential, then You don't have to worry about entry so much. You don't have to worry about, well, by golly, I'm going to wait for that pivot high or that pivot close. You know, that chart can be motoring up, and it can get close up here, and maybe something happens politically, maybe, you know, that makes you uncomfortable. Maybe you get a little bit of a, you know, bearish little Hiromi up here, perhaps. Hey, if you're up 25%, 15%, what are you going to do? You know, you're going to get all crazy for a couple more percent? Take your money, walk away. That's what we're here to do. We're not here to be right. There's a huge difference between being right and making money. Huge difference. Being right is about your pride. It's about guys out there thumping your chest. Women don't usually have that problem. I've worked with a lot of men, a lot of women in coaching, and it's only the guys that have that, you know, I'm tougher than you attitude and thump your chest like Tarzan, and you know, you feel like you have to be right. You don't have to be right. You just have to make money. That's the key. You got it, Bill. Can you use that? Let's see. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see what else I have. Acor. I have to watch my time here because I do want to get in a couple other charts. Gaps are gifts. Okay, gaps are gifts. So here's the pinball setup right here, and notice we gapped up. Take your money. Walk away. Take your money. All right, I'm gonna, in lieu of time, I've got 8 minutes, and I really want to get to a couple other charts that have some trades in it. Here's AUY, and see how it's starting to read the rounded bottom breakout? And look at that. What a sweet trade. What a sweet trade. And it's still going. Here's Court. Nice trending chart, starting to read the T-line bounce. It's telling you, pay attention to me. Boom. Here's that MAC. I bought MAC yesterday. MAC, it's reading the RBB. You can clearly see it has a double bottom. You can clearly see it has a bullish engulf. I bought it yesterday, and I'm looking for a nice little swing on this. Here's the trade plan for it. I've got a 3 1/4 entry. I'm looking for a 495 target 1, 650 target 2. Overall trade of 18.5%, 6.5% risk. As it moves up, I will adjust that up a little higher. SPPI. This is one that we pointed out not too long ago. In fact, this is one that I pointed out on Stock Twits the other day, and there she goes. Now I think it's a little high to be buying now. So here's the trade plan for SPPI, and here's how you might set it up. 960 entry, and let's go back. You know, in here 960 entry. So whoops, try that again. 960 entry on this candle right here, and maybe a target of 1070, target 2 of 1130 for an overall of 14 and a little bit % on a trade. IDXG, I am currently long this. I'm currently up 20%, and I currently think it still goes higher. The chart pattern here is still absolutely wonderful. I mean, we've got a nice little kind of, I drew a pin it, but nice little flag pullback here. I mean, look at this nice little breakout right there. And there it is reading it. Here it's reading a pinball setup. It made it close. You know, not everything works out. Here's a nice little run here after it started reading the RBB over the 50. It consolidated. It rallied up. We're consolidating. I still think this goes higher. Here's a chart plan for IDXG. I believe this was mine, I guess. I guess that's what it is. Buck 33 entry, buck 60 first target, 18.5%, $1.95 second target, 44%. Man, these kind of numbers, I just got to come close. I mean, I'm not gonna cry and whine if I don't get 18.5%. If I got 17%, I'm gonna grin all the way to the bank. You know, if I only got half of that 44%, it would be so cool. IDXG, I must have that on there twice. Fred, I happen to think Fred is set up. I mentioned this on the social media, so please, I hope everybody takes advantage and look for right way options and hit and run candlesticks on all your social media outlets. But Fred, and then I think Fred is setting up right now. It's giving us an RBB, rounded bottom breakout, beautiful little chart pattern setting up with tons of upside potential. Tons of upside potential. Here's maybe the chart or the trade plan. And by the way, I do one of these on every single trade I take. Ever since I've started doing this, and this is thank you to one of our coaches, two of our coaches were actually probably very involved with building this. One of them was way out there as far as building it. I mean, he was definitely the leader on it, Ed Carter. But I ever since I've started using, I use this for every single trade, and it takes my emotions out of it. And when I can put away 19%, risk 7%, those numbers look good. When I can do that, I'm happy. I am truly happy. Okay, here is MHLD, and this may be set up for next week. Here we have a couple of dojis, kind of a mini little cradle pattern. It's telling us it's a pinball setup. So this right here, there should be a trade plan after this. We'll go look at what it is. I suppose I should have drawn some lines here. This is a rounded bottom breakout that failed. Notice we never had follow through. And here's MHLD, entry of about $7. Target 1, 750. Target 2, 810. 6.84 for the first target, 15.40 for the second target. Overall trade, a little over 11%. Willing to risk about 2.3 or so percent to see if I can get that 11%. It's not a bad little trade. You know, $1,500 on this little trade. Okay, hey, by golly, I'm going to end on time. Now, seriously, folks, if you have, I mean, I realize not everybody can be in front of your computer. I truly do realize that. Completely understand it. You can't be in front of it all day long, nor do you want to be in front of it all day long. Check us out. Hit and Run Candlesticks, Right Way Options. You can find, we each have our own separate channels, so you can, you know, get with us both on Facebook, Twitter, StockTwits, or YouTube. You certainly don't have to be with all of those. There, we post across the board. You know, please, I hope you take advantage of that. I truly do. Okay, so here, let me get you a link. And Jeff, do you have the link by any chance? That would be easy if you could post it, since I'm going to have to ask you how I post it.
Do you know what it is? I've been looking for it, and I don't know if I ever received it.
Okay, I've got it here somewhere.
I can post it. I just I actually did a little bit of an inbox search for it.
Okay.
And let's see.
I'm gonna see. I just posted it somewhere. I don't know where. I think I posted it to you. Okay, thanks. And as I see, me to organizers is what I did. So.
Oh, did you? Okay. Then I can find it easily that way.
Yeah, you have the link now. It's in the organizer post.
Okay.
So folks.
I will post this out to everybody.
Okay.
Right now.
All right, and folks, this is 3 days only, but I realize today's Saturday, so if you just take the trial Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to still honor it, not to worry. And I think Jeff is going to send out a note, so by all means, take advantage of it. If you have any troubles logging in, let us know. It's a 30-day, 100% 30-day trial to Hit and Run Candlesticks and right way options. We'll bend over backwards to show you a great deal more of what I was showing you here and then some. So we hope to see you there. Jeff, Metastock, thank you very, very much for inviting me today. For everyone here, thank you for taking time out of your Saturday, not just to listen to me, but to listen to everybody else. There's some awfully good educators out there. And man, I'll tell you, anytime you get some free, good education, take it. So thumbs up to you guys, thumbs up to all the educators. We'll see you next time. Take care.
Thanks for coming, Rick. I know you're coming off of surgery, and it sounds like you kind of got some stuff going on. Glad you're feeling better, and I'm glad you were able to make it today. You did a better job talking about your stuff than I could have, so just going to leave it there.
Okay.
All right, very good. Let's go ahead and transfer back out over to my screen real quick. How are you guys enjoying the session today? Well, I figure out where I'm at in this thing. Okay, here we go. All right, very cool. Just a reminder, and I'm not. We're running right on 4 o'clock, but I just want to go here. Well, we're on 5 o'clock Eastern. We did take all his patterns, and we kind of did make scans, and they did have the commentaries, and they had the scanning that I showed you about. And it's a very full-functioned add-on. It's also part of our bonus today. So here are the 4 patterns that included. You get the rounded bottom breakout, the T-line squeeze, the T-line bounce, and the pinball setup, all kind of packaged up into this package. Again, it's going to kind of show all those rounded bottom breakouts, the squeezes. Those are going to automatically be set up for you. All the charts are automatically going to be set up. And of course, you're going to be able to scan and find those in any market that you want. And I know these are some of Rick's favorite patterns, and we're certainly proud of it. Normally, this one will retail as a $399 one-time cost. If you're just interested in doing it, you can do it for $299. That will include 30-day access to Metastock, the on-demand. We did record some on-demand instant access. As soon as you order the program, you get access to 2 training sessions with this one. One where Rick kind of goes into some good detail on how the patterns work, and one where I actually walk through how to do all the training. And that's as soon as you sign up. But in addition to that, you'll get the 30-day zero-risk money-back guarantee and the Metastock Bootcamp that I'm going to be hosting on September 21st. And it's also part of the bundle package. So we talked about all 3 add-ons, Steve Bigelow's, Kirkland's, and Sadler's today, some of the best add-ons that we've got. All 3 of those would retail for $12.97. I put together a really, really good package where you can get all 3 add-ons, 2 years of Stocks and Commodities magazine, which is normally $149, 3 months of access to Metastock, the Unleash the Power of Metastock Bootcamp that I'm doing, and on a special training session that we developed just for Metastock 15, that's called Unleash the Power of Metastock. Normally, if you bought all those things separately, it would cost you about $1,700. It's $899 if you buy it at the summit. In addition to that, it's all refundable except for you pay $59 for that 3 months of access to Metastock DC. So if you decide you want to cancel, all of the $899 is refundable less $59. Really good risk to reward ratio there. Do want to thank all of the people that have signed up already. The phone lines are a little bit slower than they were earlier, so if you tried to call and weren't able to get through, give us a call, 800-882-3040. We also do have reps that are online, and you can reach them at metastock.com/saleschat. So I know there's questions coming through. I can see them. They're pouring in. I'll be answering those. I do want to get on to our last speaker. Before I do that, I'll be answering them by message, by the way, too. So I do want to thank our sponsor, Stocks and Commodities Magazine. Great magazine, great sponsors. You should definitely check it out, and we really appreciate their sponsorship. They've been great partners for this event and have really helped us with it. So, Metastock, again, 25 years in a row. If you don't want to do the bundle pack, but you do want to try Metastock, you can do an extended trial where you pay that $59 I was talking about, and you can just run it for 3 months. To do that, you can do that online, metastock.com/traders-summit 3-for-1, or give us a call, 800-882-3040, or metastock.com/saleschat.